Hey everybody, we're here with Kristina from Ivan's Restaurant, probably North Bay, one of North Bay's best restaurants ever. Kristina's had it for the last 14 years, but I just want to tell a little story about what just happened to me and my wife the other night. Last week, we left Ferris, drove up. On our way driving up, we called Ivan's. We got through. The young gentleman was incredible on the phone, told us how the process would work. We pulled up to the restaurant, had to be 5, 6 other cars there. And it was like back in the days, I forget when the girls used to come out with roller skates and they came to your car. This one lady came out and first thing she had said to us was, "Thank you for supporting us." I thought that was brilliant. She says, she came back out with our order, which was on the tray. And then we grabbed the order. And then she said, "Would you like some hand sanitizer?" I thought, wow, outstanding. And then she just kept, she was just so thankful and grateful for our business. And I just haven't felt that way from any business at all. She was so appreciative of us coming in and buying. And the process, she smiled the entire time through the process. And the process to us was flawless. We were in and out probably 10 minutes. So hats off to you. Clearly, you've got some awesome leadership ability because your staff is incredible. Talk to us a little bit about how COVID has changed how you operate.
Yeah, I mean, COVID's changed everything for everybody in so many different ways. And, you go to bed one night with a business that for us is such a huge base of regulars that you could predict on any given day, sales, hours of people's schedules. It was to all of a sudden, everything is just complete chaos. And so the first question was, do we even continue to do this? And so, we pulled the staff in and everybody got together, and it was literally a sign-up sheet because I didn't want anybody to feel pressure to do something they weren't comfortable with. So we had almost like a voting, and that was the question: do you feel comfortable working? And do you want to continue working? And there was a yes and no column. And I knew that if not enough people wanted to, that we would tell our customers that we would see them when we got to the other side of this. There was no names on the no. Every single person wanted to work, and it was unanimous. So then it was to figure out, okay, everybody wants to do this. How do we do this safely? We knew right then and there in that first conversation that we felt that if people were getting out of their cars, going to the door handle, coming through, we felt that wasn't going to be enough of a layer of separation. So right then and there is when we decided if we're going to do this, it's going to be curbside. So it was starting with, I think I was on the phone with Bell every single day for a week and a half, just trying to get an answering machine put on my line and, trying to get them to come in and put a second line, which still hasn't happened. But it's been a lot of that, figuring out on any given day how much staff to have on, because there's the time to get the food, package the food, and if you were to see inside the restaurant the elaborate bleach setup that I have and everything, and then to get to the cars, it is a lot more work. So it has not been without its challenges. We've had our growing pains, like I'm sure every other restaurant in this city and business in this city has had, but I feel like we're getting the hang of it. I feel like the stories and the positive feedback, there's way more positive than negative. I see as an owner where my bottleneck is, like where my weakness is right now. Those Friday nights can be frustrating getting through on the phone lines. We entertained, do I just bring my cell phone and just tell people to call that number? But the problem comes in is that also is we need to be able to not overwhelm the kitchen. We can only be reasonable with how much can go into our fryers. And then the fact that we're running 4 to 5 staff in front, but so there's at any given time, and so this is on our busiest, we still have to run to the cars. I only have 2 desk machines. So you have to it's playing that game of how many orders every 15 minutes. And so I feel like I've opened a brand new restaurant. I live there. I feel like I'm navigating 2 families through this storm because I've got my family at home. I've got 2 young kids. I'm mom. I'm usually the one home every night making supper. And now, I'm at the restaurant every 5 nights a week. So my husband's doing dinner, and this has changed everything.
We haven't been through anything like this. So you're right. It's like setting up an entire new restaurant and processes that you've not seen before. So it takes time to navigate those waters, for sure.
Yeah, it does.
I could tell from the cars that were there the other night that the community is supporting you, but tell me what that looks like. How has that been?
Yeah, the community, the support's been fantastic. Days are definitely slower. We've got dinners are good. Friday nights are definitely the busiest time. We have regulars who have started making signs with their family name, and they put it in their windshield. And so they drive up.
Great idea.
That is just brilliant, things like that. I've had personal messages. I had a girl send me a personal message thanking me because I guess they aren't able to see their grandfather who lives alone, and Ivan's is his favorite. And he's had his fish and chips every Friday night. And so she personally messaged me just to thank me that they can still keep that bit of normalcy for him. So those are the stories I have. I've had quite a few people reach out thanking us. So the community has been incredible, and I'm thankful every day to see the good that is coming out of this.
I've talked to a lot of business owners over the last few weeks, and they're all saying the same thing. The North Bay is an incredible community. When we're faced with these types of challenges, that they really come through and rally behind businesses, and that's kind of where we need them to be.
Yeah.
I was telling my wife the other day, we haven't ate out as much in the last 2 weeks as we have probably the last year. We're trying to support everybody as best we can because we know you guys are probably not in a money-making phase right now. It's just a matter of staying open, keeping some staff employed so that you can live another day. Mm-hmm. When things turn, you can open back up to some sort of normalcy. So thank you for all you guys are doing.
Yeah, thanks. Well, in touching on the staff, that's one of the things too, is especially in the restaurant industry, staff retention is hard. So that was definitely one of the fears in closing completely was, okay, if all of a sudden you're asked to open back up, if you're not keeping in touch with, or you don't have that, you're not keeping that relationship going, who is going to be there at the end? And so for me, it's been just paramount. And even the few people who are not hired back full time yet, it's been, checking in on them regularly, making sure that they're okay, just trying to add that extra support.
Question, can you, so what are your hours of operation in COVID?
Yeah. So we are open Tuesday to Saturday, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m.
Wow.
And we closed on Sundays and Mondays. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's crazy because the only days that I closed during the year were, Christmas and Easter Sunday. And I was so busy with the visits from Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny that I never had time to recognize that we were closed. I mean, gosh, when I was in labor with my daughter, I was on the phone doing payroll. And the day I was in labor with my son, I was called online to help with fries. So it is such a weird feeling to be closed. And it took the first, it still is a surreal feeling when the phone doesn't ring or not to be checking in, because I mean, we've been open 7 days a week that's all I know. Yeah. So will we get back to open 7 days a week? Maybe right now, because I do feel like this is a whole new business, different template. I feel that I need to be there. And so just to be fair to the family, right now, I just feel like having those 2 days set aside where, we're home is just important.
I think there's going to be a transition period too. Once things start to open up again in stages, probably it's going to take a little bit of time for everything to fall back into place. So yeah, you'll have to decide that as things, progress.
Well, and I think that the scariest part as a business owner is that I'm a planner. I think ahead. I like to know, start having my plans ahead of time. And, we don't know. You don't know whether they're going to say dining rooms are closed until there's a vaccine. And what does curbside look like, once it's -40, and I will still be there in my parka doing it if I have to.
Yeah.
But that's the scary part for me, is just not knowing how this industry, how affected will we be when we do come out of this, and how different will this service industry, especially restaurants, how different will we look?
Yeah. So for curbside pickup, they can call the store. What's the restaurant number?
Yeah, so 705
Yeah.
474-2150 is the number.
Okay.
Pre-orders, especially on a Friday, is what I'm definitely going to be promoting, because you can call at any point in the day and slot in your curbside pickup time, because we will slot anywhere between 6 and 8 pickups, like customers, in a 15-minute period. So the earlier that people get their orders in on those like high volume times, but during the day and then the rest of the days of the week, feel free to, call it dinner time. There's always space. And if you're driving by, pull in and we'll take your order at your car window as well.
Yeah, it's easy enough. It's like making a reservation. It's the same scenario, right? So can they also order from your website?
So we're in the middle of looking at that. We've looked at couple different templates, and what we're having trouble finding is a model that gives us the ability to limit how many orders are placed in any, say, 15-minute interval. So we can find the online ordering, people can choose their time, but we're having trouble finding that integrated software that limits the volume at times. And that's just because we're running outside, curbside, we can only take so many. And it wouldn't really affect anything most nights, but Friday nights, definitely we need to be able to really be able to be effective at knowing that we're not putting too many people in a certain time slot.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Listen, Kristina, thank you so much for hopping on. I greatly appreciate it. Thank the lady that served us the other day, and the gentleman on the phone. They were perfect. And we'll be back before COVID's over, because I also love your fish and chips as well.
Yeah, and thank you so much for doing this. It's great just to, the amount of new people I've met through this has been incredible too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.